Hey guys, this is WWE superstar Charlotte Flair, and you're listening to WellsMania Podcast. Woo!
Woo! Thank you, Charlotte Flair, for the WellsMania liner. And thank you, Seth G, for the sick violin cover of Tiny Tempah featuring Eric Turner, written in the stars. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2, sweet, of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube, which means YouTube picked us up after the pilot episode, and that's all because of you. So go ahead and Barry Horowitz yourself right now and pat yourself on the back. I am the Kyle Wells, and I am very appreciative of each and every single one of you. Do yourself a favor and follow me on Twitter at WellsMania. I will follow you back. Like me on Facebook at WellsMania. Follow me on Instagram because I do it for the gram at WellsMania. And of course, last but not least, subscribe to this channel right here on YouTube at WellsMania. Welcome to episode 2, appropriately titled When Worlds Collide, because worlds will be colliding. But before I dive into this episode, does anyone know what time it is?
It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
That's right, it will forever be Vader time. And I'm doing the Vader hand signal gesture right now, splitting my fingers right down the middle and making a V. Long live Big Van Vader, because sadly earlier this week we lost Leon White, aka Vader. He passed away at the age of 63. This is from his official Twitter account, at It's Vader Time. Around a month ago, my father was diagnosed with a severe case of pneumonia. He fought extremely hard and clinically was making progress. Unfortunately, on Monday night, his heart had enough, and it was time. Vader, gone at the age of 63, but not forgotten, because Big Van Vader, Leon White, is one of the most gifted big men that we have ever seen step inside the squared circle. Big Van Vader. The dude was a mastodon. He was ginormous. He was a monster. Big Van Vader terrified me as a child because he was crushing my hero Sting. And I'll get to my top 5 favorite Vader matches of all time, which feature a lot of Sting matches. Vader was 6'4", 375 pounds of pure domination. One of the most agile and mobile big men ever. And like I said, I've got my top 5 favorite Vader matches right in front of me. An honorable mention is one of my all-time favorites. It was his appearance on Boy Meets World when he was Frankie Stechino's dad. Episode 21, Season 2 of Boy Meets World. The Thrilla in Phila. Poor Corey Matthews. It's a great episode. If you've never seen it, do yourself a favor and see it. Frankie Stechino's dad in Boy Meets World. What an epic wrestling cameo appearance that was, of all time, but especially from my childhood. That was back in 1995. I was 9 years old. When this boy meets world. I love it. But coming in at number 5, let me take you back to 1997. In your House 13 Final Four, a vacated WWF title is on the line. Vader versus Bret Hart versus Stone Cold versus The Undertaker. Vader did not win this match, but I was very entertained by just watching Vader wrestle because, like I said, he was very mobile and agile, and that dude flew for a big man. And honestly, Vader should have been WWF champion during his time in the WWE, back then WWF. And by the way, Vader's family better be receiving the call next year around WrestleMania season and finally be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. That is long overdue. Well-earned and well-deserved. Vader for the class of 2019. Tweet it. Let's go. Hashtag Vader for WWE HOF. Let's do it. Coming in at number 4, Big Van Vader versus Ric Flair. Woo! At Starrcade 1993. I loved the storytelling in this match. Very entertaining. Coming in at number 3, Big Van Vader versus Sting at Starrcade 1992. Arguably their best match during their feud, even though Vader lost that match. He didn't lose this one. Coming in at number 2, Big Van Vader versus Sting. Great American Bash 1992. Vader won the world title. And coming in at number 1 on my top 5 favorite Vader matches of all time, I remember this one like it was yesterday. I was just a little boy with a mullet watching Super Brawl 3 in 1993, terrified of Big Van Vader and that thing that he carried to the ring that blew out smoke. That was pretty cool. Nice accessory. Sting was my hero, my idol, and this was a White Castle of Fear strap match, arguably the greatest strap match of all time. Sting ended up winning it, but Big Van Vader put on a hell of a performance, just absolutely manhandling Sting in that match. That is my favorite Vader match of all time. Vader, gone at the age of 63, but never forgotten. Long live Vader. Time. Tweet at WellsMania and let me know what your favorite Vader match is of all time.
Money. Money.
That's right. This past weekend, your boy made a out-of-nowhere trip over to Chicago. Shout out to John Glick, WWE's biggest fan. Follow him on Twitter, at WWE's biggest fan. Tell him WellsMania sent you. John and I are boys, and I thank him for allowing me to have our very own episode of Ride Along on our way over to the Allstate Arena. Which, by the way, the Allstate Arena is the slipperiest place I have ever been in my life. And I've been to water parks before. Seriously, I got a funny story to tell you all. And it's okay, you can laugh at my expense because I wish I would have seen this happen and I wish there would have been video because your boy took a bump. Luckily, all my training in the wrestling ring has prepared me for taking bumps in real life. So there I am. The show just ended. Shout out to Dan Frank for hooking me up with the ticket. I said my goodbyes to Dan. Dan goes one way, I go the other. I'm walking down the stairs, and all of a sudden, I slip, and my entire body just goes out beneath me. And I land flat on my back on these stairs. But luckily, I didn't whip my head back because I tucked my chin in, because that's what you're supposed to do when you take a bump. You tuck your chin in to protect yourself. But my back, there ain't no protecting that. I landed smack right on the steps in front of 2 sections of people. I heard people laughing, I heard people clapping, I heard people booing, I heard people cheering, I heard people say, "Are you okay?" I heard people say, "Oh man, that was dope." I get up, I fix my head sleeve because, the head sleeve took a little tumble too, but I was carrying a cup of lemonade because I don't drink soda, haven't for a while. The lemonade had about, there was still enough in there for it to splash over all over the place onto people, so if you got hit with my lemonade, I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't mean to fall. Put so much damn lacquer on the floor. What else was I supposed to do but take a nice little rough and tumble? I did. I fell. I fell in front of everybody. Or as in the wrestling business, we call it taking a bump. And I'm sticking to it. That's what I did. I took a bump live inside the Allstate Arena. And you're welcome if you saw it. By the way, if you did see that, tweet at WellsMania and let me know what you thought. Because I feel okay now. I've been doing some stretching, some yoga, but I'm okay. As far as my record on the night went, I was not okay. I finished the night 5-6, but I wanted to hear from you out there, and I asked you all to tweet at me, and only 4 of you did. It's okay. We're still in the infancy stage here. WellsMania podcast on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you. At WellsMania on Twitter. Follow me. At Monstar6. My dude Sean Bradley. Monstar. Killmonger. He said, it was okay, slightly predictable for most of the card. At Mark Dykton, a good brother, Mark Dykton said, great show outside of Gender Reigns. By the way, y'all in attendance there in Chicago, by far the most hostile crowd that I've ever been a part of. You all were so rowdy during that Reigns-Mahal match. Don't even get me started. Mark continues, and the Zayn Lashley matches, he didn't like those. Styles Nakamura had their best match of the feud. Ronda impressed again, and I hope Braun calls out Lesnar for a match at SummerSlam because that's right, Braun Strowman is Mr. Monster in the Bank. I think he will. I think we're going to have that epic showdown, Braun versus Brock at SummerSlam, maybe even sooner, hopefully sooner, rather than later. It'd be nice to see the Universal title consistently back on Monday nights. Chris Hagerty, another good brother, at CM Hagerty, he tweeted, AJ versus Nakamura tore the house down. Nia versus Ronda impressed the you-know-what out of me. Little Miss Bliss pulled a mega move. I see what you did there. I liked it. All caps mega. And stole the women's title. Huge pop. And the men's Money in the Bank match was strong. I thought KO got seriously injured. Seriously, that bump that KO took. KO is a man. He made my bump on the stairs look weak. Showed me up. And last but not least, Colin Richard at Uber_FAL on the Twitter said, great weekend of shows from TakeOver to Money in the Bank. 4 hours plus is too long for the Money in the Bank, so I skipped Cass and Brian. I have more on Big Cass, don't you worry. And Zayn Lashley, while watching a day later, I absolutely loved everything I watched. Anyone who didn't like the show is just a hater. I couldn't agree more with you, Colin Richard. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Mark. And thank you, Sean, for the tweets. By the way, tweet at WellsMania. I will help you out. Follow all of those guys on Twitter. Do it right now. But I did have fun attending WWE Money in the Bank, a random Chicago trip out of nowhere. Shout out to my girl, Whitney McAllister. It was so good to see you, Whitney. Also, it was very nice to meet you, Hope Brooks, Whitney's sidekick, her sister from another mister. I think that's what the ladies say for brother from another mother. Anyways, nice to meet Vincent Michaels, or Michael, whatever his government name is, and always great to see Big Papi JD Roach, Cody Mullican, Jared Giles, Matt Colicchio, and of course, I did the pose, Brock Lesnar, Guy, Carrie Sansone, Marie Sansone, Kayla Lasota. So great to see my WWE family members. I love you all, and I hope I see you again really soon at another WWE live event. But like I said just a moment ago, Big Cass the other day was released by the WWE. WWE on their website, WWE.com. Big Cass release. There's a picture of Big Cass looking worried and concerned about what his future may hold. Underneath it says, WWE has come to terms on the release of William Morrissey, parentheses, Big Cass. That's it. That's all Big Cass gets because there's rumors going around that apparently backstage, Big Cass, he was running his mouth, not happy with the way he was being booked. Apparently there was some alcohol involved, and well, one thing led to another, and now Big Cass is a free agent in the professional wrestling world. Personally, I like Big Cass. Bada boom, how you doing? I really hope that we see Enzo and Cass reunite, and guess what? I have an idea. I know where they can go. The Smash Mouth Arena, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to wrestle with this.
WellsMania presents It's Time to Wrestle with This.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wrestle with this on episode 2 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube. Thank you all so much for tuning in to episode 1. And a big thank you again to Pro Tim Quim, Dodge Obencrust, WWT superstars Tim McLaw, Ispan Gustenschlamen, and Megamondo for appearing on the first installment of It's Time to Wrestle with This on the WellsMania podcast. And I am joined in studio by another WWT superstar. He is the amazing, stunning, and gorgeous Ravishing Anton. Ravishing Anton, how are you, sir?
Well, thank you, WellsMania, for that kind introduction, but I'm a little irate and a little ticked off about some things that I need to get off my chest right now.
Well, before you do, you are not alone, because I have another WWT superstar joining us right now. It is Mike James.
No, this.
Come on in, Mike.
What the hell? No, there's no way. No, this is not happening right now. No,
Mike James
no. I'm dreaming. Oh God, why is he here?
Thank you, Kyle.
Hey,
it was hard.
You are very welcome.
Did I make it? Sorry, I'm out of breath. I was running up the stairs. Let me catch my breath for a moment. What is he?
What?
Am I sitting across from him again?
No.
What are you doing here?
You're not supposed to be here. Okay, this is a one-on-one.
It is a one-on-one.
No.
With Kyle.
This is my time, not your time.
It's our
You don't
time.
belong
If
here.
it's not your
you
time
need to get
and
the
my
hell out of
time,
here.
it's our
You need to
time.
get the hell out of here and go back to Dane Lane.
Hey,
Go back.
it's the lane.
You need
we
to
are
go
in
back.
a public
And
convenience.
you need
of
to stay
reporting.
in your own lane and get
Okay,
out of
watch
mine.
your language,
Go back.
sir. Watch your language.
Whoa.
What?
I knew that this was going to happen. This is like deja vu. It's like the gym all over again.
Yeah.
I knew
What do you
Sorry.
expect with this ringworm?
I understand. I knew it was going to get a little heated. Hello, Goose. Nice to see you too.
He says hi, Kyle. He was so excited about getting here.
I
That's
have
why we
a-
ran up the stairs.
I
Why
have
did you
a
bring
message.
a rubber duck?
He goes everywhere with me. Shut up.
I have a very special message for you both.
Yes, sir.
You both need to listen to this, because I know you're all up in each other's faces right now and you want to just go crazy and rumble with one another, but you can't. Listen to this. It's a very special message from a very special Pro Tim Quim.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dodger Obencrust, the Pro Tim Quim of Wrestle with This. Mike James, Ravishing Anton, I'm talking directly to you guys. I saw the interaction you had on the WellsMania Twitter page in the gym, and I just want to let you know that if you have any contact whatsoever inside the WellsMania studio, I will be forced to strip you of your chance to get a #1 contendership, and the opportunity to face Stone Payne will go to another WWT superstar.
All right, gentlemen. So you've heard the Pro Tim Quim. Are we cool? Do we
Yes.
think we could do this interview?
Yes, Oven Dust is the boss.
As long
I'm
as
willing to
this
put my listening
disease-rotted-
ears to
rotted
his
ringworm
and
doesn't
listen to
touch
him.
me, I'm great.
As long as you don't touch me with that expired moose that's on your head, I'm fine too.
All right, gentlemen.
So funny.
You both are coming off a very impressive debut match
Yes.
at the Smash Mouth Slamboree, which, by the way, all of my Wells Maniacs out there right now need to go to YouTube, type in Wrestle with This, subscribe to the channel, because Wrestle with This is a character-driven comedy wrestling reality show you don't want to miss out, because these two right here, Ravishing Anton, Mike James, you two were in a triple threat match where neither of you were victorious because Stone Payne won that triple threat match. Ravishing Anton, let's start with you. Your thoughts on losing that match?
Whoa. I didn't win, nor did I lose. Okay, I wasn't defeated, nor was my shoulders pinned to the mat. Unlike this annoying skid mark over here, who happened to have been pinned 1, 2, 3, cleanly in the middle of the ring, where I was screwed.
Yeah.
Out.
You may have been screwed.
Now, Ravishing Anton, why do you feel like you were screwed in that match?
Because here's the thing. Why didn't the ref get my mirror? I mean, literally, there's an issue there. Obviously, the little kid had the ref paid off. And not only that, he was slow to count 1, 2, 3 every time that I was making a cover. But he happened to be so quick to make a 1, 2, 3 for that little boy who got lucky to win that title.
Now, I will say this. That little boy is the youngest world champion of all time. That's got to mean something, right, Ravishing Anton?
Only in WWT history, which means that only this organization realizes he's the youngest champ ever.
Understood.
No other organization out there has said, oh, congratulations, Stone, weakling, whatever you are. You won. You're the youngest. You're in our record books as the youngest ever. You don't see the Guinness Book of World Records knocking on his door telling him, oh, hey, here's a copy of a certificate for being the youngest world champ ever. No, there's not. Because, see, they don't recognize little boys who win so-called championships. They only recognize ravishing men.
Understood. Now, Mike James.
Yes.
Ravishing Anton, he did make a point. You were the one that ate the pin. Your
1, 2, 3.
Let him finish the question, please.
Just like that, Sir Bryant counted 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Sir Bryant, the ref, that is. He counted 1, 2, 3, and you were the one that took the pin. Your thoughts, Mike James?
Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm an honest man, and an honest man admits defeat. I did get pinned, but did I go out a winner? Yes, I did. I mean that like in a way of me being the underdog. The underdog always prevails. Even though there's ups and downs in his line, I may have taken a beating. But as people saw, the guy across the room from me, he ate a serious kick, which means had I had won and not had get out of breath and given him everything I had in that kick, I would have been champ. But no. Sneaky, let me crawl between the cracks. Coming from above is Stone Payne with the wooden stick named Tracy. Pixie stick.
Which, by the way,
I lost by a pixie stick.
That was completely legal.
Yes, it was.
Because in a triple threat match, ladies and gentlemen, no rules in a triple threat match. So
I know
what he did
was legal.
But just
I brought
throwing that out there for the record.
But I brought my weapons too. I brought my Larry and Mo, which means my left fist and my right. And that's all I need.
You have a very special friend in front of you.
I do, and I brought Goose. Goose was with me the whole time.
And this is Goose's debut on the WellsMania podcast
Say hello,
on YouTube.
Goose. Say hello.
There it is. That is Goose saying hello. If you don't speak rubber duck, that was hello.
Whoa.
Yes.
He's not a rubber. He's Goose.
Goose. Sorry. My apologies.
You're okay, Kyle.
Now, I will
you.
I will say this. Mike James, you were very impressive, as were you, Ravishing Anton.
Thank you.
You both, even in defeat,
Let's watch that defeat term
Right. Even in defeat, not defeat, you both put on a good show with Stone Payne. You guys were the main event at the Smash Mouth Slamboree. I enjoyed it. Everyone else that watched it enjoyed it. You guys did a great job. Now, that is in the past.
Yes.
We are going to look towards the future because right here in this very studio where you both are sitting, I had Dodge Obencrust make the announcement that you two...
He made a travesty of announcement, which I'm still trying to get rectified here.
Right, but he is the pro tem quim. Dodge Obencrust announced that you two will be in a number one contenders match, and the winner of that match will get another shot at the WWT World Title against the champ, Stone Payne. Who wants to start with your strategy, your thoughts on going into your number one contenders match? I know you don't want to give your opponent, too much of leeway, but Mike James, you got that look of determination and perseverance on your face.
I have what you could say, the eye of the tiger, because guess what?
You're a survivor?
I am a very big survivor. I survived the triple threat, and I'm going to survive the most brutal match that me and the Fruit Loop across from me is going to have. I kid you not. We have gone to war in the last match. This is going to be a war. I am honored that Mr. Dodgy Oven Dusty gave me another opportunity to keep my hopes and dreams alive. And guess what, Ravishing? You're going to eat more than just a serious kick. I mean, it's going to... You might lose a part down that pretty hair of yours when I'm done with you.
Ooh.
There's no strategy. If you want to come over here and get some, it's SRH. We'll get some serious Reekish Havoc going.
Now. Remember, you guys cannot touch one another in my studio.
I'm not going to touch him. I'm waiting.
Ravishing Anton.
Be a good boy.
What do you have to say to that?
Ladies and gentlemen, the comedy that is Mike James. Give it up for him. Man, what the joke.
Woo!
And what a big joke you are.
Ooh.
So,
now we're
my
making
message
jokes.
to you is when you go home tonight and you say your prayers, I want you to say them nice and quick and tightly, because you want to know why. I'm coming to humiliate and embarrass you. Okay? There's a reason I'm ravishing. I'm amazing in the ring at what I do. I got a stunning body, and I look damn gorgeous doing it. That is why I'm ravishing. When I come for you, you're gonna get put down, beat down, taken down all night long, because you're on my ravishing list, and you're gonna get one serious ass kicking.
Are you done? You put me to sleep.
That was
You put
intense.
me to sleep every single time you talk.
I got a question for you. When did you grow that beard of yours? I thought, what happened to that mustache?
Oh God.
Personally,
Are you a
I
man
like
of many,
Ravishing's beard. I
he's
like
a man
it.
of many faces.
I like the beard because, it takes one beard to know another beard, and I
But it looks
respect a good-
ugly.
I disagree.
It looks ugly.
It
Better
looks like a
watch
ravishing
what
beard
you
to me.
Say. Better watch what you say, Mike.
All right.
The time for jokes,
Ladies and
will
gentlemen,
come to an end. And
We're gonna get it on here. We're gonna get it on.
They are-
Better watch.
That belt is gonna
better
go
watch what you say.
right around my
No,
waist.
That belt's coming
See,
back
what are we
with
doing
me.
again? You started it earlier. Now you're starting
My
it again.
Remember the
God,
pro
why
Tim
are you
Quinn,
so
fellas.
annoying?
Yeah. Listen to your boss, Oven Crust.
all right,
not my
ladies
boss.
and gentlemen,
I will be number one contender.
you just
I will be number one contender.
No,
You're
you won't
hearing.
be number
You're
one
actually
contender.
still hearing
I will
these
be
two.
number one contender.
I'm not. I'm done with you.
I'm going to let this play out.
My back is turned.
And there it is. All right, listen, Mike James, Ravishing Anton.
Yes, Kyle.
Thank you both so much for taking the time
No,
to join me
seriously, thank you.
on episode 2 of
You are the
WellsMania
man.
podcast on YouTube. Mike James, where can people find you on Twitter?
People, you can find me at I am a serious dude.
There you go. Ravishing Anton, where can your ravishing peeps follow you on the Twitter?
My ravishing family can follow me at Ravishing Anton.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The number one contenders match between Ravishing Anton and Serious Mike James coming soon to Wrestle with This on YouTube. Thanks, guys. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, at Ravishing Anton for Ravishing Anton on Twitter, and at I Am a Serious Dude to follow Mike James on Twitter. Those guys were great. I could not wait for their number one contenders match coming soon on YouTube. All you gotta do is subscribe to the channel and watch Wrestle with This. You can also follow Wrestle with This on Twitter at SmashMouthWWT and tell them WellsMania sent ya.
Warning. The following segment may contain spoilers or adult language not suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
By God!
God! By God! That's the Walking Dead's music!
It sure is. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, right now, on episode 2 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube, When Worlds Collide, worlds are colliding. I have resurrected the Once Upon a Time hit Walking Dead podcast. 3 dead dudes. And joining me right now via satellite, because one of the 3 dead dudes is a movie star now. He's out in Hollywood, California. I'm talking about the star of Tuned In with Tokyo, Eddie Hagerty. What's going on at Tokyo?
How's it going?
Good, brother. Did I set you up well there now that you're a movie star and all?
Yeah, I have a little bit part with no lines, so yeah, I'm taking Hollywood by storm.
I love
no
hearing
lines
that.
At a time.
And of course, it wouldn't be a 3 dead dude show without the 3rd dead dude. He is the greatest uncle on the planet, Rick Grimes' doppelganger, Brandon Bell. What's going on, bro?
What's up, guys? I appreciate that little intro there. That's cool. I'm not quite movie star status, but I'll take greatest uncle.
There you go. Family is important. And speaking of family, the 3 of us are a part of the Walking Dead family. And for those out there who aren't familiar, we used to do a podcast called 3 Dead Dudes. So this is a bit nostalgic. And I thank you, dudes, for taking the time right here on episode 2 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube. And, of course, I love any chance that I get talking Walking Dead, especially with my dead dudes. The Season 8 finale, titled Wrath, has come and it has gone. And right off the bat, not necessarily Lucille, but the all-out war is over.
Yep, the war is over. Rick finally got what he wanted out of all this. He lost a lot along the way, for sure, but he finally got to the point where he got the man he was looking for. And instead of killing him like everybody predicted the old Rick Grimes would do, he saved him. And I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
Yeah, I thought for sure that Negan was dead. And then when he wasn't, I was just like, well, look at that. Negan's not dead after all. Instead of killing Negan, Rick actually listened to Carl's dying words of having peace prevail.
This is a new Rick Grimes. Carl's death had a pretty big impact on him. And that note that Carl wrote to Rick, himself, and then to Negan as well, I mean, it all resonated with Rick. And at first, I didn't really know what to expect. I kind of thought maybe Rick might still kill Negan just because that's what Rick wanted to do this whole time. But right there at the end, man, Rick honors his son's legacy, and he's keeping Negan around. So we'll see.
Now, that definitely wasn't settling well with Tokyo's second wife, Maggie. Tokyo, what did you think about Rick not killing Negan?
I'm about 50-50 on it. I like it because this actually, if you're a comic book reader, it leads to better stories down the road if they follow those. But since with Carl's out of the picture, I would have been all right if they killed Negan off, just because we're not going to have those Negan-Carl stories that actually push Carl to become the man that he becomes. I just don't see where they can go with Negan much further. I don't know. I'm not sold on it, on what they're going to do, but I guess now with Carl out of the picture, they can kind of write their own story and get away from the comic books.
Negan had this thing won. I mean, he had this war won, and then all of a sudden, Eugene redeemed himself, and the weapons that Eugene made backfired on all of the saviors, and thus Rick and gang, they ended up overcoming Negan and the saviors and winning the all-out war. There are a couple rumors going on, and we'll get to that in just a second. By the way, if you're just now tuning in, you are listening to 3 Dead Dudes reunited, and it feels so good. Right here on episode 2 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube, When Worlds Collide. I am joined joined by phone with Eddie Tokyo Hagerty and Brandon Bell, shifting gears and focusing on Morgan Jones. Morgan left The Walking Dead, and he crossed over to Fear the Walking Dead. Have you guys enjoyed Morgan's crossover to Fear the Walking Dead?
Yeah, Morgan literally walked off the show, literally. I actually prefer him in Fear over The Walking Dead because I think he gets more screen time and we kind of explore his character a lot more than what The Walking Dead was giving him. You know, there was just too much time split between all the characters, and now with fewer characters, you can spend more time and let Lenny James really explore Morgan.
You know, in the wrestling business, we call that giving somebody a push.
Exactly.
Morgan's getting the push on Fear the Walking Dead. Brandon, what is your take on Morgan on Fear the Walking Dead?
I'm with Eddie on this one. I actually like it a little bit more. I like Morgan a little bit more on Fear than I did The Walking Dead, just because he's such a deep character. And like Eddie was saying, Lenny James is a phenomenal actor, and he was not getting the screen time he deserved. Although The Walking Dead has an overload of phenomenal actors who deserve a lot of screen time. I feel like Lenny James crossing over to Fear and his character Morgan fit right in with everybody. Like him and John Dory's relationship, I can't wait to see where that goes. I can't wait to see, and now that Madison is dead, which I was not thrilled about,
yeah,
it kind of leaves it open for Morgan to maybe be their new leader. He's the wisest of them all. He got this whole thing about him, about peace, but yet he will still kill you with his bow staff if he has to. Or he's willing to take a bullet for a total stranger.
Because he doesn't die.
Because he doesn't die. And that he is about as good of a leader for Fear now than he was on The Walking Dead. So I love that we can explore his character a little more just because he's so good. And I think it fits well. I think everybody on Fear and Morgan, it's almost like he was meant to be on Fear. It's like his whole time on The Walking Dead was leading up for him to end up with Fear. And I think it's pretty good. I like it.
And you touched on Madison dying in Fear the Walking Dead. She was arguably kind of like the Rick Grimes of Fear the Walking Dead. And that's one thing about Fear the Walking Dead that I've noticed is they're not afraid to kill off the main characters. I mean,
no, they're not.
Travis is dead, Nick is dead, and now Madison is dead. So roll this all up in a full package, touching on what both Tokyo and Brandon said. It's almost like the Morgan show from here on out in Fear the Walking Dead.
I just want to touch a little bit more on Morgan. When he meets John Dory also, it's kind of like we're getting that, you know, he was an ex-officer also. We're kind of getting that Morgan Rick story that we never really got. Ooh. That could have continued in season 2 and season 3. The friendship that kind of we could have saw with those two. We're kind of getting it now in kind of a different universe kind of. I think that's something we all kind of wanted. You know, I don't know about you, but after Morgan disappeared, it was like, man, they need to bring him back. His character is a little bit more interesting. You know, he had a son also that he was trying to protect, and then they just went their separate ways. It was like, I wanted more of Morgan, you know, and now we're getting that.
What season was it? Was it season 5 when... or was it 4 when he was following them, when they finally reintroduced Morgan back? I mean, after the first episode and then the season 3 episode Clear, then they finally show him that he's got it together and he's coming back. I mean, the fans went nuts. I mean, it was like, for a guy who had only been in 2 episodes up until this point, he remained a fan favorite that whole time. And I agree with you, man, with this whole John Dory and Morgan thing. We're definitely getting a Rick-Morgan relationship that we never got, that everybody probably wanted.
I love all of that. Definitely a big fan of John Dory, and I'm glad that he's come along in the Fear the Walking Dead universe. Now, there are a couple rumors that we need to address. One of them involves Andrew Lincoln. There is a rumor that The Walking Dead's Andrew Lincoln is set to leave The Walking Dead after season 9. Dudes, can you imagine The Walking Dead without Rick Grimes?
I can't. No.
No.
What the hell's going on here with this? Why is he going to leave?
Actually, I can if Carl was still alive.
Yeah, because Carl...
It'd be like passing a torch.
Yep, but now who does he have to pass the torch to? I mean, there's a lot of rumors about Daryl being the next man up. Norman Reedus supposedly got a big paycheck for possibly taking on the next lead role. But you can't take a man who has barely said anything all season and then make him the main character of the show. Daryl is a much better character when he's playing not necessarily the sidekick, but
the supporting role.
Characters who doesn't have to be the main character. Like Andrew Lincoln as Rick Grimes carried that show to me, even in the episodes that he wasn't in. I mean, I felt like I don't know. It's definitely disappointing that he's talking about leaving. It'll be different. It'll be a lot harder to watch. But if the writing can improve and they do the right things with the right characters, maybe we won't even miss him.
Yeah, and I've always told myself to try not to get too invested in characters on this show, but literally, I've been down with Rick Grimes since day one through everything that Rick Grimes has gone through. And it's never really crossed my mind because I always thought to myself, out of all the characters on this show, Rick Grimes is the safe one. There's no way they'd kill Rick Grimes off. But now it's actually being talked about. It actually listen, I'm not going to believe it until I see it. And like Brandon said, if you can write it up in storyline wise where it makes sense and the show goes on, by all means, I'm going to still watch the show. But a little bit of me is still going to be salty without seeing Rick Grimes on my television screen.
I absolutely agree. I also, without Carl there and with Rick supposedly leaving, supposedly they said he's only there for 6 episodes. Well, that could be a whole season with The Walking Dead. With how many times they flipped a whole episode and never shown Rick or Daryl or somebody like that, I can see him being there at the end of the finale. Everybody thinks, oh, he's only in the first 6 episodes. No, that's not what Walking Dead does, They might do a side story with Aaron, or we might get some Negan backstory,
Right. And there's another rumor out there floating around, and I actually tweeted about this, teasing what is going on right now with the Three Dead Dudes reunion here on WellsMania podcast on YouTube. I tweeted out, I'm seeing reports that John Bernthal, the actor that played Shane, will be making an appearance as Shane in season 9 of The Walking Dead. Spoiler, Shane died back in season 2 on the farm when Rick stabbed him to death. I have a twisted, messed up theory, and I will reveal it on episode 2 of WellsMania titled When Worlds Collide. And guess what? Ladies and gentlemen, the time is now because this is episode 2 of WellsMania podcast on YouTube. And I've got Brandon Bell and Eddie Tokyo Hagerty. The Three Dead Dudes have reunited, and now I'm going to reveal my twisted theory, and I'm going to lay it out there to you guys, and I want you two to weigh in on what I have to say, and then I want you guys to take it your own way as well. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so if Rick Grimes is going to leave after season 9, and if Shane is going to come back in some capacity in season 9, this is my sick, twisted theory that the show creators have already ruled out, but guess what? Nothing's ever ruled out, okay? Rick Grimes, he's gonna wake up from his coma, and Shane's gonna be right there in the hospital by his bedside. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
For all that build-up right before, I legit didn't know this was episode 2. So when you said you were going to reveal it on episode 2, I was sitting here like, oh, damn, we won't get to hear it? And then you go on to say, this is episode 2. But, yeah, I know we've been hearing that, from the beginning of The Walking Dead, that the way they were going to end it was that way. I personally hope that's not how it ends, but after all that talk of it ending that way, I wouldn't be surprised if that's how it ended.
Yeah, it's set up perfect for it to happen. I mean, even though they they say something, it doesn't matter. I never thought that Carl Grimes was going to die. Like Tokyo said, the comic book series focuses on Carl. Well,
Yeah.
Carl's gone in the TV series, so it's kind of like, where the hell do you go from here? You might as well end the show after season 9. Have Rick wake up from the coma, and Shane's there, and then maybe Rick can kill Shane after all the hell that he's gone through.
You gonna kill him for his bad dream?
Yeah.
He wakes up from his nightmare and just stabs Shane to death with that flower pot.
I can't believe you did that.
He just wakes up. He's like, dude, I just had the wildest dream, and that's all he says.
When I came up with that theory, I was like, people are either gonna hate my guts for saying that, or it's gonna hit them like, oh my God, that might actually happen.
Well, think about it this way: like when everybody was assuming that Glenn was going to be safe after Negan had killed Abraham, but then they kill Abraham, but yet still throw a curveball and still kill Glenn in the exact same way from the comic books. But like what I'm saying is, like, no one expected that. Everybody still expected it to be Abraham who's going to move on.
I think Shane is going to be either a flashback, or it's going to be one of those, he's kind of saying his goodbyes to everybody as he's dying, in his mind. If they do it like that, they obviously got to bring Carl back and Lori back. So if those two are brought back and we're seeing reports of them coming back, then I'm thinking Rick's going to see them when he dies.
I mean, Rick has a history of hallucinations.
Yeah.
Dudes, I don't think I'm ready for Rick to die. I don't think I am.
I feel like when he dies, a part of me is going to die with him.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I know you, bro.
Well, there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 dead dudes reunited just for you. Just for all of you out there listening right now. And like I said, this is not the last time that you're going to hear from Eddie, Tokyo Hagerty, and Brandon Bell. Dudes, before I let you go, Eddie Hagerty, where can people find you on Twitter and plug your podcast, Tuned In with Tokyo? Where can people hear that at?
Tuned In with Tokyo is on iTunes and SoundCloud. Type in Tuned In with Tokyo. I think we're almost close to 40 episodes now.
Nice.
So we got that going. If you want, you can hit my personal Twitter at eHagerty51 or the Tokyo51 on Instagram.
Brandon Bell, I know once upon a time you were not as socially active on the social media. Hopefully that has changed. Do you remember your social media handles?
I got my Twitter one. If anybody wants to follow me, I rarely tweet, though. It's at Sir Pablo Brando.
There you go. There you have it. Dudes, thank you both so much for talking The Walking Dead with me, as always, right here on episode 2 of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube. Thanks, dudes.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Woo! I told you all, episode 2 of WellsMania Podcast on YouTube. When worlds collide, worlds will collide. Thank you to my dead dudes, Eddie, Tokyo Hagerty, and Brandon Bell. 3 dead dudes lived to see another day. Oh, we'll be back, don't you worry. And thanks again to WWT superstars, Ravishing Anton and Mike James. And thank you to Wrestle with This. And especially thank you to each and every single one of you out there for tuning in to me right here on WellsMania Podcast. R.I.P. to Big Van Vader. Until next episode, y'all take care and dominate the day.